I can't remember how old I was when I first saw this film, and to be quite honest with you, it's been years since I've actually sat down and watched it again in its entirety. But I do have fond memories of it all. And to keep this video as authentic as possible, I decided not to watch this film again prior to making the video, as to not subconsciously mix in present memories with the old ones, if that even makes sense. So let me begin by talking a bit about some key memories of the film, for me at least. The opening credits music, the rainy windshield reveal of the Bates Motel, the conversation between Norman and his mother as Marion looks out the window. And of course, how can we forget the infamous shower scene? Now, even though all of these aspects took part in my intrigue of psychological thriller and horror, there is one scene in particular which caused me to become, well, fascinated.
Mrs. Bates.
See, at such a young age, my exposure to any kind of horror films was basically non-existent, and horror films to me were just scary and in your face. Plots were exposed at the beginning of a movie, and characters knew about whom or what the threat was that they had to face. And that threat usually came in the form of a monster or an alien or even some person turned bad by some botched experiment. You know, your cliches. And even that information was gathered via film trailers and or bits and pieces of a movie I caught a glimpse of as my parents clicked through channels to find something more family friendly. So being introduced to a film like Psycho was quite literally my introduction to this genre of film. I'm honestly trying to do my best with sticking to a cohesive format with this video, but if you know me, I tend to be unorthodox and scatterbrained with my thoughts and rants. So let's rewind a bit and talk about that scene. So up until this point in the film, my young mind believed a few things. Lila was in some kind of danger, Norman's character was in question, and his mother, though we never saw her, was indeed somewhere within the house. And as far as I knew, she was a living, breathing person who wasn't very fond of any women who came to the motel. So much, or little in fact, that she was capable of murder. So Lila makes her way into the basement and sees who she believes to be Norman's mother, turned away from her sitting in a chair. Lila places her hand on her shoulder, the chair turns, and this scene plays out. Now, once again, this entire format was unlike anything I had ever seen before. So imagine my surprise when not only one, but two major things were revealed to me. See, in my mind, Norman had killed his mother in some point in time within the film, and realizing that Lila had found out, decided it was also time for her to go. But why was he dressed like that? Why was he wearing a wig? And his expression, he almost seemed to be happy or excited about the whole situation. Oh yes, young curious-minded me needed answers. Now, as much as I'd love to sit here and tell you that all of my questions about who Norman was became clear to me after the film's Dr. Richmond's explanation, they weren't. Not even after my mother explained it in layman's terms did I fully understand it. It wasn't until years later, after rewatching the film, that I was able to understand what was going on with Norman's character and really appreciate the film and consider it to be a classic. Seriously, if for some odd reason you haven't actually seen this film, I would highly recommend you do so. I'm not joking. Like, turn this off right now and go watch this film. So yeah, needless to say, I kind of have a thing for psychological thriller/horror films. And this movie is the main reason. From its direction and cinematography to its acting and original score. Psycho, in my opinion, set the bar for how to do these kinds of films. And to be honest, it's arguably one of, if not the greatest, psychological thriller/horror films of all time. What's up, people? Just wanted to give a quick and sincere thank you for checking out the content, and if you enjoyed this video and found it to be interesting and or informative, feel free to leave a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and gives me motivation to keep at this, whatever this is I'm doing here on YouTube. And as always, be well, be safe, be blessed, and stay creative. Thanks again.